Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And today, I opened up the window here. I got a little extra light. Today, we're going to talk about attracting women post breakup. I feel like I had a little oil there from breakfast or something. So, I had a live stream member mention yesterday that he's a bit rusty post breakup, and I can relate. And for some reason, I don't know why, but I haven't really done a video about this before. I've told people before I don't consider myself a pickup artist. The primary reason for this channel is to help people out of breakups, but this definitely is a place where a lot of guys feel inadequate, uncomfortable, awkward after a breakup. Because if you've been in a relationship for 4, 5, 6 years, you haven't been pursuing women. You've been interested, you've been attracted to them, but you haven't really been going up to them and approaching them, right? So, Mary, it'll be interesting to hear what you think on this topic because you're a woman. And so please let me know what is attractive being a woman like yourself. What was one of the best approaches a man took in attracting you or getting your number or getting a date and then maybe possibly pursuing your heart eventually, right? What was there an approach that you thought, wow, that dude's smooth. Wow, that was really cool. Or is there a generalized approach? Just be honest and just ask me for my number. Let me know what you think, Mary, because your input is valued. So I'm going to talk for a little bit here about this topic. Here it comes. Attracting women. And Mr. Slamming, this one's for you, bud. This one's for you. It's a good topic, though, for everyone. It's not just for you. But when you brought it up, I thought, you know what? That's useful. That's helpful for a lot of people. So I'm on board with that. And if you guys have anything else out there, Mary, if you want me to talk about my opinion on a woman's end of this, we can in the future. But obviously, I have a better perspective being a man who's attracted to women, right? So how to attract women and get dates after a breakup. That's what I said, because I think that's a lot of people's objective. Okay. How to attract women and get dates. Let's not just say that you're at a point where you just want to pick them up. That could be a different video for a different channel in a different place. I just realized I've also had trouble attracting women post breakup. Well, that's interesting. That's really interesting, actually. So I'm going to play with this light really quick. I'll just do it a little bit less because I've had some videos where I'm like, damn, you're looking shiny. So I need a production crew, guys. All right. Identify how to attract women and get dates after a breakup. So number one, this isn't number one. I'm sorry. This isn't top 10, but these are things to address. Identify your insecurities. Okay. We all have them. So I'm not bulletproof. You're not bulletproof. We all have some insecurities. Go to work on them. If you're a jealous person, where does that come from? What's your triggers? Is that something from your childhood? Are you a person that has trust issues in a relationship or friendships? I've witnessed coaching people that they have issues with just friends. They don't trust friends at all because they've been burned by them. So identify your insecurities. Maybe make a list. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't be a jerk. If you're not feeling good about the way you look, identify the specific areas that you don't look good. Okay. So, it's obviously if you think, oh, I'm just ugly overall. I hate everything about me, my feet, my hands, my ears, everything, right? There's always something, I believe, that people find in you if they're good people and they compliment you on it, right? There's always some good things physically and to your character, I believe. And in different places, like living in Asia, women always tell me they really like my nose. Now, no one ever told me that in America. Like, I like your nose. And my nose is a little bit up, but they think it's just, oh, wow, that's just a really nice nose. And who gives that compliment? And so what I mean by that is different strokes for different folks, and a little bit deeper, different environments, different subcultures find different things attractive. But getting back to it, identify your insecurities and go to work on them. Don't accept them. Okay. You obviously probably can't change your height. This is a big one for men, especially men that are short. They tell me this repeatedly. I'm 6 feet tall. And so I guess you consider me tall. But guys that are friends of mine will always go, oh man, you're so lucky to be 6 feet tall. If they're 5'6", 5'7", it's always a chip on their shoulder. And I know when I used to sell shoes to women, when I was in college, women had a big issue with, they were okay if their boyfriend was quote unquote short, but they never wanted to be taller. So they would actually always tell me I can't wear those heels because I'll be too tall. I always thought that was interesting. And I've read about this before. So identify your insecurities, fix them with research. So your height can't change, but your posture could, the way you carry yourself, the clothes you wear. So when you have insecurities about certain things you can't change, you need to accept those things. Now, the things that you can change, right? Don't accept them. Fix them. Fix them with research. Right now, I don't want you to over-research, but we have a lot of research on our hands with the internet. Fix them with research, honesty. What do I mean by honesty with your insecurities? Tell the truth, okay? Tell the truth about what you're really insecure about. Stop blaming people or making excuses, and get a coach or a mentor. And that could be me, that could be someone else, but someone that you look up to, that you're like, yeah, this person knows a little bit about style, so I'll talk to them about dressing. You don't go to your friend that's a garbage man during the day and, dresses in baggy jeans and dirty t-shirts, and then he tells you, yeah, man, you need to change your fucking style, dude. And you're like, oh, maybe I should. You need to go to people that you respect, that specialize in that area, and pay a little bit of extra money and do it. Build a strategy to take that insecurity down. So, for example, if you're fat, okay, this is like that's kind of mean to say. I'm not telling anyone that. That's your prerogative if you're overweight. Get a personal trainer. Instead of you going, yeah, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'll do this. If you have really good mindset and you can make yourself do those things, fine. But if you want to double down, I would say get a personal trainer, put your money where your mouth is, and have to show up with someone. That's going pro. That's you going all in. Go to a dietitian. That's you going all in. That's you answering to someone. Now, I realize people don't all have the money to do this. If you do, do it. If you don't, take the next step below that. Read a book. Talk to a friend that's really good in fitness. Take some notes. Build a routine and get to it and commit. Don't make excuses why you're fat, and don't get offended if someone calls you fat. Okay. Now, if someone's listening to this and they're like, wow, this is a little bit over the top. Well, if you're upset by that, then that means that you feel like you're overweight. And this is one of the major insecurities people have overall in the States, I find, and in the world. And this is something that you actually don't have to accept. So if someone calls you or looks at you funny because you're overweight, use it as motivation. Go, fuck this. I'm going to start losing weight because it's healthy. I'm going to look better and I'm going to feel better. That could be your mantra right there, but don't accept it. Don't say, oh, my metabolism's low or this or that. Do your research. Go to a dietitian. Get a personal trainer. Start a routine. Hold yourself accountable. Get on it. Because if you go into any dating situation, and the thing is, attracting women is by chance. Okay. Chance encounters, you do have good intentions, but you'll come across women in a cafe, a restaurant, in the elevator, all the time, all day, if you live in a major city or somewhere with a sizable population. But if you don't feel good about the way you look, you're going to instantly kill every opportunity and chance to make eye contact with that woman, because in the back of your head, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm really overweight. She's going to see that. I mean, yeah, I'm sweating right now. Yeah, I'm doing this. And so before you can even get on deck of attracting women, you got to get on deck with your insecurities and work at them. And part of that is not accepting them for what they are, and fixing them and working on them and getting to a place where you feel good about yourself. The amount of clients I've had that have come back to me a month or 2 months or 3 months later, and I'm not a personal trainer, but that's just one of the things you suggest, right? And people are like, yeah, the gym was the best thing I ever did, or going on a diet. And they actually get up during a FaceTime interview and twirl around and go, look, I lost 30 pounds, 40 pounds. They feel outstanding. You could just see lightness in them. So this is one of those things. Get on it. You don't need to have a six-pack, but you shouldn't be carrying around a spare tire and feeling really bad about yourself. Get on this stuff. You can do it. It takes a little bit of time. Next, think back to when you got the most interest from women. Who were you then? There's different times in my life where I had a lot going on and I had a lot going for myself. I had a certain style and I had a lot of women interested. Now, again, I wouldn't say pickup artists, but I had women making eye contact with me regularly. I was even surprised at times, right? And at the time, I think back to when I lived in San Diego for a little while. I had a job where I dressed in a suit. I had a good job. I was going to school. I had really good friends. Friends count too, because that's your social life. So you feel really good all the time. You're in a good mood. The weather was nice. The beach was beautiful. My hairline was nice. I had long curly hair. I had a lot of things going for me. But one thing overall, I felt good overall about where my life was. I was living in a place that was a goal in the past. I was living literally 3 houses down from the boardwalk, the beach. I had a good job that I made pretty good money for a part-time job in college. I liked going to school. And like I said, again, I had good friends. So this all contributed to me being in a good mood and outgoing most of the time. And I always had a tan. Read books on the topic, not just 5-minute YouTube videos. Are you listening? I know I do YouTube videos. I know I have a lot on it, but I would go a little bit deeper and read about 2 or 3 books with different perspectives. A lot of the books touch on the different topics. They'll tell you to go to the gym. They'll tell you to eat healthy. They'll tell you to make eye contact, but they tell you it in different ways, and different ways might resonate differently. And I can recommend a few of those books at the end of this. Off the top of my head, Models by Mark Manson. Atomic Attraction is a book that I just started reading that I thought was redundant, but ended up being good. And do your own research, but read a few books. Practice being okay with rejection. I always had trouble with this when I was young. I just didn't even try. The alternative to being rejected is, oh, I should have, could have, would have. I'll tell you what, folks, in my own life, the amount of times that I've had women interested, and I don't know if it was fear or blindness, and I didn't pursue it. And these were good catches just because probably in the back of my subconscious, I thought, oh no, she's not that interested, or this or that. And that was a subconscious thing. Now, I realized later on that some issues that I had as a kid, which I'm not going to go into in this post, were blocking me in some ways when I was getting into dating. I never had problems attracting women, but getting to the next level when I was a bit younger, I was really uncomfortable with that first kiss, which isn't a problem now, but it was. And you need to identify, that's my next part. You need to identify the process. Okay. So for example, I'm just going to do this simple, stupid. Okay. I'm just going to check in with you guys right here, because I'm going on a bender. We got a lot on deck today. All right, sweet. We got a lot on deck today. The process goes like this. See woman. I'm attracted to woman. And yes, it's usually attraction first, right? Make eye contact. She makes eye contact back. I smile. Fake smile. Real smile. Different, right? Just a little hint in the eyes, right? Have a reason to talk. You're at a coffee shop. Oh, what's that coffee you ordered with the foam on top? I've never seen that before. Sound cheesy? It's better than, hey, beautiful, what are you doing here? Right? Have a reason to talk. She's got the New York Times in her hand, and on the front page is some kind of news. Oh, I see you're reading about Trump. I don't know. Have something to talk about, some kind of common ground that you can strike. Build a connection or common ground. Oh, wow. Have I seen you at the gym before? I think you go to the YMCA that I go to. I don't know. Build a common ground. Look at what she's wearing. If she has a San Francisco Giants baseball shirt on, go Giants. Throw something out there like that. You a Giants fan? Did you see the game yesterday? Bam, you could just go into that and spur on. Next, part of the process. Ask her out and convey interest. A lot of times, oh, let me get her number and let me text her for the next 2 weeks and try to figure out if she likes me or not. Let's just skip to the adult part, folks. Ask her out and convey interest, but not over the top. Does that make sense? Women, back me up on this if you believe this is true. So make sure you're not just saying, oh, we're just friends, but be like, I convey interest that you like her. Set a date Friday night. Hey, let's go out and go bowling, and I want to show you this Italian place. I don't know. Set a date. She says no. Don't go, oh my God, what do I do? Go, okay, Leave it alone for a few days. And then if you want to revisit it the next week and she says no again, because if she's really interested, she'll probably provide, you know what, Friday doesn't work for me, but Saturday does. That's my experience. If someone's interested, they'll convey an alternate date. You going out of your way to convey that, I don't think that's a good way to go. And remember, this is a fishing expedition, right? You're throwing the reel out. Ooh, hooked one. Oh, maybe I got a date. Oh, got off the line. Throw it back into the same hole, go through the same tactic, and maybe you'll get another fish, right? And it's a lot of catch and release, folks. Go out and have a good time, good conversation. That's the next part. So let me review this process. See women. I'm attracted to women. Make eye contact. Have a reason to talk. Build connection and common ground. Ask her out. Convey interest. You don't have to ask her out in that moment, but within those 2 days, 3 days, but not over the top. Don't overthink this. Oh, should I call in 24 hours or 48 hours? Well, here, how about this? Just fucking make the call. Okay. Make the date, make the offer. And if it's not accepted, be okay with it. Go out, have a good time, good conversation. Once you're on a date, good time, good conversation. That's the objective. Look, if you don't vibe, don't sacrifice your character or viewpoints to please her. She'll sense this and be unattracted. So if you guys are talking about politics or you're talking about Mexican food is better than Indian food, and she's really passionate about it because she's a chef, and it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I don't even want to talk about this anymore. Be neutral or agree to disagree, but don't carry on and don't give in. If it's a topic that you feel strongly about, be you. End dating. Okay, those are the 3-step processes. End the dating. Someone that doesn't really work out the first few dates. Bad starts are a bad sign. I've seen it. Oh, well, we started out kind of bad. We started out kind of rocky. Well, you're usually going to end bad then. You should start out. It should be rose petals and wine glasses. It should be very nice. You should be getting along really well. Intimacy should be good. It should be flowing like a river. And if it's not, then it shouldn't be bad. It should be okay. If it's okay, then you can continue on. If you have 2 or 3 bad dates and you see extremely high-flying, wind-blowing red flags, take a cue and go, you know what? I'll keep fishing. Because ending bad dates or ending relationships with people you're dating, it's actually beneficial. And I'll tell you why, folks. This is good stuff I'm giving you here right now. You get a date. You go out with a woman. You don't have a lot of plate spinning. You don't have a lot going on. You're not seeing a lot of women. You don't have a lot of action. And so you're thinking, this is the one. I just want to hook up. I don't want to screw this up. First of all, that's the worst way to look at it because it's desperate. Secondly, what you want to do is identify, maybe this person's not for me. Because if you continue to go out with someone and they're toxic or they don't vibe with you, then what happens, and I see this all the time, oh, all these internet date apps, they suck. Oh, dating sucks. No, the person you went out with for 5 dates wasn't a good date and wasn't a good person for you. And so now you just generalize about everyone. Instead, you should have nipped that in the ass about the 2nd or 3rd date and went, yeah, we just don't vibe well, and started fishing again. All right. Because every time you take on someone and you bring them into your energy and you meet them up once or twice a week, and they're really not an individual that's uplifting, someone that's supportive, someone that has growth, someone that you vibe with. I use the word vibe with. Think about that. Have you ever had someone you just vibed with? You just have a conversation. You're like, damn, dude, we've been conversating for 2 hours and it's just flowed. Right. Whether that's a friend, a colleague, or someone you're dating. I've always been a conversationalist, so this is paramount for me. It's very difficult for me to be around people that can't have a conversation. Okay. Next step, get intimate. Right. Get this right, and the next few months should be great. Don't be in a hurry to make the relationship official. Let her bring this up to you. So this is just relationship 101. But get this right. The first time you guys kiss or get intimate, have it be a good one. Maybe you got to do some research on being a better kisser. Maybe you got to do some research on your intimacy compatibility and be honest with yourself. It hasn't been good in the past, because the first time you get intimate and it goes well, that takes your relationship to like right up here. And now the fish is on the boat. Top 10 ways to attract women. Are you ready? Let me just check in with my live stream here. We got 9 on deck. Some women maybe don't like this topic. I'm not sure, but let me know what you got. Oh, Mikey's on deck? Mikey's on deck. All right, Mike will like this because he's a ladies' man. Top 10 ways to attract women, and let me know which one's your favorite one if you're in the live stream or in the comments below, please. Or if you have another one that I didn't say that you recommend. Top 10 ways to attract women. Number 1, pick favorable environments to hunt. So people that go hunting or fishing, they pick favorable environments, right? So where are you hanging out? Where are you spending time? Bars and clubs are actually not that good a place to meet quality women. There's a lot of insecurity there. There's a lot of one-night stands, which is fine, but it's not a place where you're going to meet someone long-term. The lighting's dim. So the actuality of you seeing someone that's highly attractive when you've been drinking and the lighting's dark, and then you get together and you're like, whoa, lights are on. Different person than I thought you were. You also don't really get to know each other in any way. If you guys are both out for a hookup, that's just fine. You're there for that reason. I've been in those environments. I've done that before, but it's not a favorable environment to meet someone long-term or start dating someone. And I don't know if it's a favorable environment if you're coming out of a long-term relationship. This depends on your age and what you're all about. So favorable environments would be places where you're learning something with the group, like university or classes. You're taking a class in cooking. You're taking a yoga class. I know I say this all the time, but those are the examples I think of. You take a cycling class. I don't know. Ceramics, art class. These are great places because you're going to be in a room for 2-3 hours and it's not going to be abrasive for you to talk to the person. You already have something in common. So those are really good places. Work is questionable depending on where you work. The gym's a great place to meet people because the idea that you're going to be going to the gym after a breakup, and it's always attractive when someone values fitness. Okay, so pick favorable environments. Think about this and think about the type of person you're looking for and if they hang out at these places. Number 2, be at your best that day. Best dressed, best smell, best hair. Chew some fucking gum. All the little things, do them. I had a friend when he became single. Everyone talks about cologne. He used to wear baby lotion because women love the smell of babies, and it was actually a good move. So it's just these little things, just these little things add up. And these are the things that you're going to do before you go out, rather than when you were in a 5-year relationship, you didn't do any of this stuff. You had yourself some garlic pizza and something else, and you were some garlic sticks, and you were like, oh, I don't need any gum. Now you need gum and brush your teeth before you go out. You need to smell good. You need to have your hair right because you're on deck, you're single. And when you run into someone and there's a chance encounter, you want to be on deck. Number 3, only get advice from a couple of people you respect based on their results. This is huge, folks. Let me say that again. Only get advice from people you respect based on their results. Don't go to every Tom, Dick, and Harry and ask their advice on your clothing, how to get women, if their girlfriend has a friend for you. Stick to 2 or 3 people you really respect and get their advice and stick to that because they've had results in their life, and the results they've had you envy or you respect. Number 4, be honest. What do you want to be? A pickup artist, an artist, a writer? Have an identity that's interesting. Okay. They talk about this in the book, The Rational Male. Some women like nerdy guys. Someone just sent me a breakup story, and she was like, he's nerdy, skinny, but he was a professor. That's a type. That's an identity, right? Some women like that. Not all women like the MMA guy with 16 tattoos and his neck, bigger than your head. Some women do, right? Have an identity. Being a pickup artist is an identity in some ways, right? A lot of women like musicians. Why? Because they don't give a fuck about what people think, right? That's why they have long hair, and they, sometimes they have weird clothes on. Have an identity that's interesting and you're proud of. Now, it doesn't have to be bizarre. It has to be something, a costume or an identity that you feel natural in. And instead of you changing that for someone else, let them choose you based on that. Number 5, treat other people with respect and kindness. So if you're going out with someone or you're around them and you guys are chatting, be polite. treat other people with respect around you. This goes without saying, but some people think it would be cool to be an asshole to other people. They're looking at you, they're judging you in every moment when they first meet you. And so if you're rude to the waitress or the waiter, that's going to be noted. Number 6, keep your word. If you're going to be there at 8 p.m., be there at 8 p.m. Because people that are really serious about being on time, this can end things for them really quick. And it's just a good habit to keep your word. Number 7, don't bend when she disagrees or questions you. Okay. If you don't agree with her and you got a different viewpoint, then you don't need to agree or shape it for her. Now, if you did something wrong, for example, one of the stories I just read, a guy mentions that she posted on Instagram or Facebook to a friend that had introduced her to the guy she was currently dating. And she posted, "Hey, what's up?" or something. And the guy that she was currently dating went, "Oh, we should get a 3-way. LMAO." And she didn't think it was funny publicly. So he had to say sorry for that. Now, you don't say sorry 15 times. You say it once and you mean it. Number 8, thoughtful gifts are better than expensive ones. I got a story about this. Thoughtful gifts are better than expensive ones or cliche ones. What are cliches? Red roses and chocolates. Okay. So I was dating a woman. For a while. We were doing well. And she mentioned something about liking mushroom soup. Random, right? And so, I don't know, I was at the market. I have a really good memory. And so I grabbed some mushroom soup. And the next time she came over for a movie date, or we were dating for a while. So it wasn't like it was just the first date or something. And I said, "Oh yeah, hon, I got some mushroom soup." She almost started crying. Really? Really? You remember that you said that I liked mushroom soup? I'm like, "Yeah, I just picked some up because you said that's one of your favorite soups. If you want it, it's in the cupboard." Not even a big deal, but it was thoughtful, right? Now someone's like, "What the hell?" Little things like that show that you listen and you care. It's not beta. Okay. Beta is to get 1,000 red roses and take someone on a shopping spree and go to the most expensive restaurant, rather than she tells you she really likes Thai food and authentic Thai food, and you go and do some research. Instead of finding the most expensive place, you find a place that's really cool. And even better, you find the place that serves the dish that she likes best. So if she says, "Oh, I love pad Thai and I like it made dry," do your research on that and specifically find the restaurant that makes that pad Thai that way. You understand? That means you're listening. Number 10. Observe red flags, don't dismiss them. Bad experiences breed bad attitudes for future dating. Do you get me on this? Observe red flags, don't dismiss them. Many times people go, "Oh, I should have known that was a red flag." No. Grab the red flag and go, "That's 1, that's 2. If it's 3, I'd be dust. It would be curtains on the date. It'd be curtains. Number 3, and you don't have to be an asshole. You could just cut it short. If there's 3 major red flags, and I'll tell you why, because if you carry on with someone like that, then what happens is you are compensating for someone you don't really want to be with. And then eventually, if you're dating them and it doesn't go right, then that's your experience where you go, "Oh, all dating is really bad these days. It's so hard to find a good man or a good woman." Instead of you wasting time with someone that's just plopping up red flags everywhere, identify them, dismiss them, move forward, and cut anchor. All right, folks, I hope that helps you. Let's get into it. You hear the chickens out there because I opened the window today. So that was sarcasm. I love your nose, Mac. Well, thanks, Mary. I appreciate that. It works well for me. Black Widow, how you doing? Why does it take so long for exes to reevaluate coming back? It doesn't. It's just that's what your perspective is. So this idea that you're generalizing, Mr. No Contact, why does it take so long for exes to reevaluate coming back? It depends on your individual situation. To generalize that would be wrong. So, there's certainly some breakups where people come back immediately. It just depends on the circumstances and the story you're telling. So if you want feedback on the story you're telling, go to writemac.com and send it in to me. But generalizations like these, why does it take so long for exes to reevaluate coming back? So everyone that has a relationship, this is what happens. And it's kind of a needy statement in a way, because you're saying, why do they have to take so long? Well, you broke up for a reason. They need to catch their breath, let the smoke clear, and evaluate why we broke up. Is it fixable? Or am I willing to accept that as part of this person being that way? And in order for someone to do that after a breakup, they got to fully digest it. Howdy. I train 7 days a week. Well, good for you, Rob. I'm proud of you, bud. Why? Because they made a decision and feel like they have to back it up, because they go through a process in opposite order than you. Relief to lose instead of loss to relief. Great point, Judy Jack. So when someone breaks up with you, they built a case of why they broke up with you. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like someone's building a case to put someone away. They're building a case in their head of why they broke up with you. So once they make that jump, they're not going to go, oh yeah, you came up with some evidence that ruined my case. No, people's subconscious don't want to be wrong. They're going to stick to that for at least a little while if they have self-respect. Zero training. I know I want to lose weight. I just need to motivate myself and have a partner to work out with. I don't like when people say they need a partner to work out with. That's bullshit in my book. Going to the gym with a partner can't hold you back. If you need a partner, you could probably find one quite easily, but I find that to be an excuse. There's a variety of ways to work out, but the best one is to find a personal trainer if you got the money, because then they can hold you accountable. Otherwise, maybe make a bet with a friend. A friend of mine that was pretty obese had told me that he made a bet with a friend that if he didn't lose XYZ weight, that he would have to put nail polish, like pink nail polish on his fingers, and he was a car dealer. He lost that fucking weight. He said he was motivated. So put some skin in the game. Damn, Rob. Hi, Mary Hinge. The gym is a lifestyle choice. Yep, the South Beach diet is a lifestyle, not a diet. Okay. He said my hairline was nice. Well, good for you. I have about 25 close friends I interact with regularly. Good for you. That's a big part of being more attractive. You have a social life outside of just trying to date. That helps you out when you go out and try to mingle with women. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to brighten this up a little bit. I don't have friends like that. My circle is super micro. Okay, good friend. I wouldn't say I have 25 close friends. Well, I don't know. I have a lot of yeah, I guess so, but I don't talk to them regularly. That's for sure. No contact. Well, some are closer than others. I don't have friends like that. My circle is super micro. Usually you got about 5 people that you interact with pretty regularly, and those 5 people, you're the average of them. That's the truth. Okay, good friends. What's the point of a live chat if you just talk? Well, this is the way I run this live stream, because it's actually useful and helpful for the individuals that watch it after the fact. But your prerogative to leave. No contact, went no contact. Well, good for you. I'm never uncomfortable with the first kiss. Fake smile, real smile. You know what I mean, right, Mary? Sinister smile. No, he starts out talking about a subject, then addresses questions and comments from the chat. It starts out with a theme. I think it's the reason I did this, Judy Jack, and I think you'll agree, is to have some kind of order to the situation. So it's not just all questions. And then the people afterwards have something valuable besides just me talking to the individuals in here. So do you guys not that I care what no contact thinks at this point, but do you guys like it like this? Just your input, because a lot of you are regulars that I talk about a theme for 20, 25 minutes. Certainly take your orders for your questions. What's a sinister smile, Rob? There is a sinister smile. I get called beautiful all the time. Like that's the name I should have been born with. Well, good for you. That's outstanding. If a guy calls you beautiful though, let's ask this question, because this is about attracting women. Does it do anything for you? Black Widow, Mary, LF, if you guys want to share, what's an approach that men could use? I don't even want to say getting a number, but getting a date. getting a date and going out with you, actually going out with you and having a date. Judy Jack saying hello, having common ground. Was I accurate? Excuse me. Was I accurate in that? And then a lot of guys, how long should I wait? How long should I do this? Is it best to just convey interest and go right in and ask for a date? What do you guys think? Or what do you ladies think? Excuse me, because we got a few on deck today. Something I notice about myself is I'm very good at attracting people and initiating flirting. But if someone catches me off guard and initiates first, I get so nervous and kindly reject them in fear. Maybe that's some kind of trigger where you feel like they're putting you in their frame or they're controlling the situation, or those kind of people tend to be a little bit more pushy for you. It's less organic. It's less free flow. That's something to do in your past with a relationship you've had before where you had someone, possibly your father or a past boyfriend, that was a bit controlling or, like I said, I don't want to say pushing, but probably controlling. And so if someone catches you off guard and initiates first, you probably take it as pressure. Maybe one day I will show you. You are so beautiful, Black Widow. Hi, beautiful. King of Backwards. I'm wondering if it's a control thing for me, controlling the level of intensity. I just said that without reading that. It could be, but it also could be that you are somehow turned off by a guy controlling the situation, I guess. This is interesting to unpack in the live stream, though. Like, get in touch with this right now. Thank you, Mary. I sometimes get tired of hearing it. Oh, God. It's a little bit much now, Black Widow. Okay? We can play the violin. So the question is, if a guy comes up to you and says, hey, beautiful, is that an immediate turnoff? What would be the best way for him to approach? Or flirting with me, that should be case-by-case thing. That should be a case-by-case thing. Mikey Mike, I'm way behind on your guys' comments right now. So, what's up, Mike? Always a pleasure. Mike's been around for years with me. Good guy, good people. Be yourself. Yeah, be stoic. I love it, Mike. Well, not always. Sometimes never be yourself, because if you don't know the rules, being yourself is going to ruin things. I think when you get to a certain age, you got to be very comfortable with who you are. If you want to be playing a game as a pickup artist and you're in a numbers game where you're just trying to search and destroy, that's fine. But if you're trying to have a long-term relationship, I think that you need to be yourself and be comfortable with that. I'm always myself no matter what. No kissing unless she comes to you. Let that person come to you if they show interest, and never over pursue. Never over pursue. I agree. Never over pursue. That's a big one. Rose petals and wine glasses. That's my line. But no matter who it is, I get anxiety and search for reasons to reject them unless I kind of already know them. Okay, so you don't like strangers. You don't like cold approaches. You like someone you work with. You like someone you've seen at the gym. This is very common. And I've always, anyone that I've ended up with as a girlfriend, I've had some kind of common place where we've interacted before going out. So it wasn't just I saw someone at a movie theater and got her number. It was like we had a class at university together, or we worked at the same mall, and so I used to always go by there. We went to the same school, these kinds of things. So actually, there is a book called The Like Switch, and the guy's an ex-FBI agent, and he talks about different ways to have people like you, to trust you, not just the opposite sex or romantic encounters. It's more or less just how people like you, and familiarity is big. And so I've told people this. Let's say, Rob, you know this. You go to the same Starbucks every day and you see Katie, who works there. After going there for 2 or 3 months, Katie, you might want not go out with her, but you'll be more attracted to her. You'll be more comfortable talking to her because you've seen her for 2 months. She's a nice person. And if one day she's off a little bit, you're going to be like, hey, Katie, what's wrong? Because even though you're not best friends, the familiarity and seeing that person once a day for 2 months is somehow attractive. You know why? Because you feel safe with them. You feel like you know them. Familiarity is attractive. And usually, if someone's a stranger and they have a really strong frame, some women can be attracted to that because it's confident, but some women can be disattracted. Too many beta guys that are themselves tank most situations. Well, and what I'm going to say, if someone's beta most of the time, then they need to change that before they're dating. So they need to be aware of that, and they need to make some changes so that they're not in a date trying to be someone they're not. Is a no. What if you are into what they have to offer? You got to weed out the shitty ones. Absolutely, Mikey. Yeah, what I said is that, there's a lot of power in ending dating someone that this is a big one. You're highly attracted to them, but you go out with them and they're annoying as hell. They can't chew gum and walk at the same time, right? They don't have any conversation skills. Eventually, that's going to get old. Now, a lot of guys would say, well, that's okay with me because she's highly attractive. Eventually, it'll get old. Or you have someone that's highly materialistic and you're not a materialistic person, and they want you to get them a LV bag for their birthday, and you're like, I just don't see the value in it. Those are little red flags that over the time of 6 months or a year are going to affect your relationship. And so those don't line up with your values. Cut anchor and keep moving. The reason diamonds are valuable is because you got a mind for them. I'm way behind on you guys. I'm sorry about this. This is a good topic today. I'm way behind. You've got a lot of comments today. Isn't that funny, Mike? Three-way. This was in a story that's going to come out and review pretty soon. She got pissed. Wow, I'm way behind, guys. This is great. We got some banter today. I'm always myself no matter what. Sorry. I rarely ever let myself explore what someone has to offer. I read that already. The bar and clubs I've seen wrong shit, and broads will do you on a dime. Yikes. Or they got a clubbing problem. Yeah, there's a big issue. Some guys are like, especially the mid to late 20s, you've been in a relationship for a while and it's been really good. And then all of a sudden the girl's like, oh, I have a best friend that's single or a sister. And they start wanting to party for the first time in a long time. And they get that itch. And then 2 or 3 months, you're like, wait a minute, we're in a relationship here. I don't want you going to the club every night. It becomes an issue and it becomes a breakup usually. I've been there on that one because you're like, look, we're in a monogamous relationship. You're going out every Friday and Saturday and getting hammered. That's not a monogamous. You can do that once a month, or you can do that for a friend's birthday, but making that a habit, making that your go-to every weekend, no. If it's been a year since a breakup, would no contact make a difference in her coming back? She still responds to my call and text, but doesn't initiate contact, and we just hung out. Well, if she doesn't initiate contact, that means she's not really interested. I would say no contact is your only option, but at this point, if it's been a year, you need to get your head up, get up off the mat, and keep moving. Because I won't be hanging around waiting on that, but that would be your only option at this point. If she still responds to your calls and texts but doesn't initiate anything, that tells me that there's a low amount of interest and she's just being nice. A hook up, take them out to the house. Oh no, no clubs, crowded places. I like quiet, reserved places. Yeah, you get to a certain place. It's like when you're younger and you're 21, 22, it's like, oh yeah, that's the best place. It's actually not the best place to meet good quality women. That's quite interesting. Maybe you should give it a try sometimes. I don't know what that's about. Library is good. I love the library. Unfortunately, where I live now, we don't really have good ones. But when I'm in California, I just like the quiet. Everyone's calm. I hit the gym, which is good. But if I get to the gym, I try not to go. Best cologne. What's the best cologne? My favorite cologne is Obsession by Calvin Klein, which is an old Calvin Klein one. But I've always liked that. I've always gotten compliments on it, and it's not too strong. Geo's nice, but it can be a little bit strong. Definitely don't overwear it. Just a spritz or two is nice. Oh yeah, I love a guy that smells good. Garlic pizza. Is that a thing? I don't know. Sometimes, I'm just rolling off my head here, but yeah, garlic pizza can be made. I like Tide Pods with Downy 4-in-1. I don't know what that means. I'm in a diesel automotive engineer. That's your identity. That's fine. That's who you are, Mikey. I like people in the commercial taking the long whiff. It's intoxicating. If they like musicians, they call them purpose bums until they make it a big. And I tell you what, don't show up when I blow up. Musicians are hot. I mean, why though? Why do women like musicians? Because they're always on their purpose. They don't really care what people think. They dress how they want to dress. They do what they want to do. And the other part of it is they do have social recognition and significance. I'm a stickler for time. If they're late, they pay for the date. Yep. I would just say it's a good habit to get into. I used to be an individual in my 20s that didn't mind being late for anything, 10, 15 minutes. There's some people out there that'll do 30, 45 and just have an excuse every time. My thing is just don't be late overall, because some people, it really upsets them. Being on time shows respect to the commitment of the other person who is waiting for you. I agree. It's grown-up shit too, right? You got a job, show up on time. It's doable. Everyone's got an alarm on their phone. Get with it. My thing is, if you show up late and that's not who you are and you have a legitimate reason, like traffic or an accident, that's fine. People that are late all the time, they just always have an excuse and they think it's, oh yeah, I always have an excuse. It's bullshit. You're always late. What an idiot. I know, Mike. Creative. He threw this on IG as ha ha ha. Creative gifts are the best. Oh, that's so thoughtful, Mac. Would be in love. Yes, I love thoughtful guys. It's a big one. It's a big one. My mother was always thoughtful. My mother's one of those. This is a dying thing. My mother sends birthday cards to every relative we have, cousins, nieces, nephews. We go to a funeral or family event because we're not as close as we used to in the extended family. They'll all be like, oh, Aunt Claudette. And they'll come up to her and they'll go, I got my Christmas card. And she puts a couple lottery tickets in there. And I've even thought about some of my coaching clients asking them, hey, this is weird now, because in 2019, people be like, what? Being like, is it all right if I take your address down? Because I want to send you a New Year's card. Because I think there's something thoughtful about that, right? When you get something in the mail. But people are weird now. They're like, nah, don't use my address for anything. People don't even want their emails touched. But when I used to be a real estate agent and a paper boy, we used to send out Christmas cards to all our clients, and people love that. So thoughtful things mean you listen, and it means that it's not just money. Like if you saw a set of earrings, I had a girlfriend once, we were at it was in Lake Tahoe. And so it had some like Native American jewelry and whatnot and stuff. And they had these really cool earrings that were feathers. And I thought they were cool. And I think they were like $30. So they weren't outrageous or anything. And my girlfriend at the time was like, ooh, I like those. I really like those. And I'm like, yeah, they're cool. They're nice. And I just kind of like acted no big deal. She walked away from them. Instead of me just buying them on the spot, like, oh, you want them? I bought them after she left. And then I gave them to her. I think it was that at dinner or a couple days later. And it was like a surprise. And it was so cool to her. Right. See how that's different and more thoughtful? I hate mushroom soup, but at least you cared. I don't like mushroom soup either, but I just was like, oh yeah, I got this for you. And think about it. I think the mushroom soup was $2 or $3. Yeah. It's funny that you say that about red roses, because a lot of women will go, oh, I never like roses. But if they get them in public, if you get a set of dozen roses at work where everyone else can see it, I think that's where they really like it. Yep. Exactly, Judy Jack. It shows that you're listening, paying attention to details. That's attractive. That's beta as hell. What, buying a mushroom soup? Overly doing it, turn off, have to have listen. Shit, she beta takes this Chinese food. Walked out the door. Okay. Anything in large supply isn't valued by me. I told an ex I liked peach roses. His ass got those peach roses, which was not easy to find. Some people put in work. Hey there. Saying my connection's down, so I'm going to wait a moment. Okay, back on deck. It said it was down for a moment. Thanks, coach. No problem. Take what you want from it. It's like, Mike, if you think something's beta, fine, don't do it. Take what you want from it, bud. Mr. Slammy, if there's some things you don't like, if there's a couple nuggets in there, use them. One time I was dating a guy who loved travel documentaries and dreamed of traveling, so I decorated the apartment like Hawaii and opened the door like a hula girl and had a tropical Shibu outfit picked for him. Wow. It made his day. I had drinks made in coconuts and everything. He was so happy. Wow, that's fucking thoughtful and sweet. I once did a project as a teacher where I asked students their greatest moment, and a lot of their greatest moments were surprise birthday parties. Surprise things that you surprise someone at, that's huge. Guys score big if they suggest a date that reflects something that the girl has said about her interest or their own, rather than something generic or asking her to choose. You always want to lead. He came back immediately, didn't even know I broke up with him, and now is back to his BS. That's definitely an excuse. I'm going to do it just to have stop BSing. I love hitting the gym and working on cars. That's your identity, Mike. Stick with it, bud. You got oil on your hands. Some women like that. Oh, I love a man that gets his hands dirty. Good for you. Women like that stuff, right? Not all. Not all. See the sun coming in now? I love daylight. I just don't feel the need to have that many friends. No problem. When you're out having fun, you have a certain energy. You're a lot more inclined to meet or attract someone while you're happy and energetic, and that's how it should be, right? Well, where are you having fun? I think that if you're in with a good group of people, then that's a good thing. You can be my friend. Good for you. Mike's always on deck. Mike's always prepared. He's always at his best. I love your video style. Well, thanks, LF. I appreciate it. I like the theme as it sets the tone for the live stream. But then again, this is my second time here, but I like it. Thank you for your feedback. I'm from NY. I'm like, what up? I got this spot. I want to hit to eat or hang out. You down? That's you. That's the way you ride. So good for you that you're being authentic, bro. I agree. The theme sets the tone. And be okay with your theme. Like I said, you can be someone that is into Shakespeare and red wine. There's a market of women that really like that, right? I used to work in a real estate agent office, and some of these people's interests, they're just funny, but they met husbands and wives that matched up. You know, there was one guy I used to work with. He was such a square in a lot of ways, but very smart, very wise, very successful real estate agent. Beautiful car, beautiful house in a good neighborhood. But if you met him, I don't think a lot of women would find him very attractive. And he was very, what's the word, deliberate and dry. You know, when people are really dry, hey, Mac, how's it going? Yeah, watched the Niners yesterday. They seemed to play a really good game. Yep, they kicked their ass. It was all monotone, right? But that was his personality, and he was successful. His wife was a lawyer, really outgoing, had a lot of energy. And so there was something about them that they had a really good relationship too. So, and he was himself. Honestly, not really hear it too much. It's kind of annoying. I like original comments. Nature takes care of the attraction part, but what do you say to get a conversation started? I would say common ground. You know, wherever you're at or whatever you're doing, if you meet someone, like I said before, I think I mentioned this. If you meet someone at a cafe and they're drinking a coffee, maybe ask them what kind of coffee they have. Or if they have a bracelet on, say, I really like your bracelet. Where'd you get that from? Those are good starters rather than what's your number, beautiful. I mean, maybe Mike disagrees. I think he needs to speed up reading the chat, though. Well, today I do. Usually I'm not this behind. Yep. Not all is necessary. Gorgeous, sexy, beautiful A now. Stunning, breathtaking comments like that are refreshing. Do you give those, Black Widow, do you give those kind of compliments to the guys? To them, it's yeah, and it depends on their level of interest. Yeah. I had an abusive relationship in the past. There you go, LF. That's your problem. I'm going back to therapy soon. Also, I bought the Habits book by James Clear. Just came in the mail. Outstanding, hun. There's probably a couple other books I can recommend for that. But that, if some guy, I hit that on the head, right? If some guy's coming up to you and you feel like it's imposing, and someone like Mike that's direct, right? Mike comes up to you, he's like, hey, what's up? How you been? He's from New York. He's outgoing. That's his style. He's a diesel guy. He's a diesel automotive mechanic. And you're like, whoa, don't even know you. Like you said, you had an abusive relationship. It's like, it's the equivalent of, you ever meet people that don't like dogs, and they usually don't like a specific dog. So when I was a little kid, I got bit by like a little poodle. I always hated little poodles after that for a long time. It's just that your mind reverses back. Oh, poodles are bad. They're going to hurt me. And your mind is saying anyone that's a little bit imposing and direct could hurt you. And so therapy could help with you, could help with that. And you being honest about that right now could help. Response to Mac's question about getting a girl's tell you her just want to hear her voice. Actually, anytime a guy has to call instead of text, it's refreshing and more personable. I would think so. I've been dealing with someone who absolutely refuses to phone, prefers text. I would say in 2019, there's a lot of people that would prefer text. So I don't think that's out of pocket. I'm definitely wary of strangers. That's true. And you have reason to be, because you've had an abusive relationship. So you need to sew that up a little bit. Hello back. Missed your live streams this weekend because I was vacationing at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mary, he was in your area. Mr. Daniel Callimayer. I don't know why, Mike. We got a lot of people from the Carolinas. Yeah, familiarize your people on a certain basis. I don't know what you mean by that. I do like calling over text. Texting is a lazy way to communicate. Yeah, familiarize your people on a certain basis. What do you mean? Because they are creeped out. I don't know what you mean by that, Mike. Can you elaborate? Sorry, guys. I'm losing my place here. Shit. Oh my God, I found feathers, earrings with turquoise from a Goodwill in Atlanta. I got my email right. I love roses, all colors. The dozens of roses was for the attention. Stop by Richmond. They got some cool stuff. I'm usually off Mondays and Tuesdays. Crown Heights, baby. They go hard. Cats be getting pulled over all day and different in the VA. Just okay. Trying to figure out where we're at, because this is a conversation between you guys. No worries. Sorry for the retractions. I do that if it sends too early. No problem, Judy Jack. You put what you want in these live streams. Now, I don't have your email. What kind of fathers? Email. Mary Fiend, feathers. Okay, it was holding back your email. There you go, Black Widow. If you want to email Mr. Mike, you got it. You'd have to scroll back up because they withheld your email, Mike. Wait, you did a dang Lua in your apartment? Heck no, you must have been in love. I would have gotten him a pina colada and called it a day. Well, you're different people, right? I think it was pretty thoughtful and cool. Actually, I'd be impressed. So there's a lot, I want to say a lot of women, but there's a lot of women that always want the guy to keep doing more for them, to keep serving them. Guys like to be surprised and treated well too. And this is an issue in relationships once they get married. I've noticed in Western culture, women are always like, oh, he doesn't do this for me. He doesn't do that for me. It's like, they like to be surprised too. So doing something like that with the Hawaiian skirt and all that other shit, that counts. It's reciprocal, folks. It goes both ways. Yeah, I had a few ladies that did like that. I'm like, I hope you like cleaning my bathtub because I get dirty. You're a fool. The most attractive thing is authenticity, regardless of who you are, knowing yourself and owning it. And I think that's why a lot of people like musicians. right? I think that's this bad guy image, you know, ex-convicts or these kind of things. A lot of them have a lot of confidence, and they're, you know, they're not shy about talking about who they are, and they're not trying to be someone else. I think people generally can read when someone's not being authentic because they get awkward. They get nervous. It's like me, if me and Mike met up, right? And I started trying to talk cars with him, Mike would be like, dude, just stop. All right, just enough, because I don't know shit about cars or working on them. And so I just would say, if I had interest, I'd ask him some questions, right, to have a good conversation. But I wouldn't sit there and try to act like I know what I'm talking about, because that makes an ass out of me. It's like shaping a feather with a turquoise gem. They say that there's a lid for every pot, meaning there's someone for everyone. I'm still not sure who they is, though. Well, I mean, it's just that everyone has a different type, right? And sometimes, you know, you have friends or family members and they're going out with someone. They're like, how'd you end up with that person? Just weird. I remember I had an ex that had a sibling that went out with a guy that, I don't know, they just didn't seem like they matched up. They were kind of an odd couple, but they worked. Guy was a really nice guy. They just seemed different, vastly different, but they worked. So what am I to say to that, right? This is a real deal, like Native American Indian, for reals. For reals. We'll probably talk till the sun comes out. I don't flirt. I say things like, I love your tattoos, or you have a nice smile, nice eyes. That's about it. Okay, that's enough. If you don't like a guy over complimenting my exterior, but noticing something about my personality or passion is so sweet. It's thoughtful, right? I think correct me if I'm wrong, the women on this, if you overdo the compliments on appearance, especially for a woman that already knows she looks good, there's actually a thing in the pickup community, and this is true. A woman that looks really good and has a lot of confidence about that, if they don't get compliments, they start asking for them. Don't you think I'm beautiful? Don't you like the way I look? It throws them off, and you're like, well, you're cute. Instead of, if I was in that situation and she's like, don't you think I'm beautiful? You're a bit cute. I wouldn't give the compliment, you know, on a silver platter. But I've noticed that because they're so used to it, it's awkward to them. It's like you don't give it to them completely either. If a woman's really beautiful, you're like, you got, like, because everyone has something. Let's say there's a woman I know that's really attractive. I used to work with her, and she had this really nice curly hair, beautiful face and everything. And she put her hair up and she had these ears that were almost like Spock. And I used to always tease her about the ears. And because she was always used to guys gawking at her, it was kind of a fun banter and joke, because I was like, damn, when you put your hair up, yeah, I'm sure you can hear me when I'm talking, right? She had Spock ears. And my point is, everyone has some little things too. No one's 100% great looking. Very original Black Widow. True, too much on the body. You'll hear that every day. I feel on that. No, he doesn't need to speed up. Thoughtfulness is better. Lots of chats show lots of interaction. That's a good thing. Thanks, Judy Jack. So over complimenting is not good, and I agree with that, LF. So any of the guys listening, I prefer to say she smells nice, or what perfume is that? I got a friend that's his go-to line. He's always like that. He's like, mate. He's from Wales. He's like, mate. And he's good with women. He's like, I always just go to, God, you smell nice. And he goes in near the neck. What is that? What are you wearing? And they'll go, nothing. It's just shampoo. Oh, it's nice. It's really nice. Calls women lassies. I prefer to say she smells nice. Okay. Why are people opposed to picking up the phone and calling all those texts? No, text time. Next time someone texts you, say, there's an app that lets you talk in real time. It's called the phone. I think it has to do with age. I'm 38 now, so I grew up with a phone, so I'm comfortable talking on the phone. But I obviously probably text more than I talk on the phone. But phone conversations, well, I use FaceTime a lot, especially with coaching sessions. The only people I talk to for long periods of time are family members and a couple friends, but other friends that live close by, we're going to meet up and hang out and do something rather than talk on the phone for a long period of time. Like, some people can get creeped out unless they feel comfortable in certain situations. Make them call. You can miss subtleties and inflections in a text. At minimum, call for a few minutes. I agree. That's a big one, that even though you can't see a face, you can hear a voice inflection, and it's totally different than an emoji. It was fun until the state declared a mandatory evacuation because the Hurricane Dorian. I didn't even know about that. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not a bro. Take that back. I'm a lady. Got him. Good point. Must be exhausting always having to do something for your wife and get nothing in return. There's a lot of people that are in marriages and long-term relationships where the woman, they think that it's really cool, or it's the way it's supposed to be, that they run the relationship, and the guy's so scared of doing something wrong, and they develop this relationship, and you're around him and you're just going like, someone, Skinner mentioned it on the live stream, called secondhand embarrassment. I've never heard that term before, but I'm embarrassed for some of these guys sometimes. I'm like, damn, like, you're just getting slaved around to do anything and everything that the woman asks, and you don't stand up for yourself. Someone once told me, happy wife, happy life. That's their motto. It's like, does that mean like everything you do is to make them happy? I don't know if that's a good motto. I mean, that means you sacrifice everything to make them happy. There's some of you are like, well, no, that's a good motto. Happy wife, happy life. To live by that credence, sometimes you need to get, I don't want to say you want to argue all the time, but you need to stand up for yourself. You're not going to, if you're in a marriage, you're definitely not going to agree all the time. Let's just agree on that, folks. I've never actually read that book, but you can get the Spark Notes online. Just get the bullet points and you're good. Really good books though. It makes a difference to read the whole thing. Yes, a luau, laugh out loud. We had crazy fun. 2 drunk adults dressed like idiots with an apartment all alone. We both were pretty young at heart, and it got his mind off the stress of work. Well, that's outstanding. I like that story. That's awesome. I'm just giving you a hard time because I'm lazy and spoiled. Good for you being honest. We're neighbors, basically. I live in Charlotte. Yeah, there's a lot of people in Carolina. Oh, Skinner, you're on. What's up, buddy? Secondhand embarrassment. You gave me that line about someone else. You called it before. I've never heard that. It's boring to her. Yeah, it's the attention or validation. Laugh out loud. It's nice to hear you're beautiful, but you can tell when it's being overdone. Tar Heels. Michael Jordan. Odd couples can work. One of my favorite quotes is, similarities cause connections. Differences bring passion. Ooh, Judy Jack, I like that. That is true. You do need some differences. You do need some sparks. Slamming, what do you guys think? Mikey Mike, Skinner? You do need a little friction, right? It's definitely, I think women would agree, when you have a guy that's overly agreeable, and I see this in marriages. Oh, let me go get that for you, honey. Let me go do this. Let me go do that. And it's just like, you're watching it. And it's just like, geez, dude, get your ball sack back. Hey, coach, what would you feel about the opposite? A woman I find very attractive, but she denies hearing it and talks down about their looks. Well, she's just insecure. And so, yeah, this is common. There's some women that are highly attractive. I'm sure there's guys out there the same thing, and their inner insecurities are, of course, everyone's seen someone out there that's slim or slender and they think they're fat. And you're like, why are you thinking that? That's just all in their head. There's a great book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. I think it was written in the 50s or 60s. And in that book, the guy was a plastic surgeon. It was like one of the first self-help books. And he said he would do plastic surgery for burn victims, different things. And he goes, the only difference with people about the results was their attitude about how they felt about themselves. He goes, because I could do the best nose job or skin graft in the world, and if they already thought they were ugly, they would just want more work done, more work done, more work done. And if you find a woman really attractive and she doesn't find herself attractive, you're not going to be able to shift that. Only she will be. And there's something in her subconscious where there was a story where someone called her a name. There was a client I had. This is actually one of my first clients a couple of years back. And she was one of those, she had a lot of confidence, but it was almost overdone sometimes. But at the same time, she was talking about that she always had this insecurity about her legs being big. So she's like, I'm hot and everything, but my legs are big. Okay. So a lot of women have this or something. Her calves were big. And I'm like, well, when's the first time that you identified yourself as having big calves or big legs that were too big? And I'm like, think about it for a moment. She's like, actually, when I was 10 years old, my dad was taking me to a dance class, and my dad goes, oh, you got some manly legs, and made a big joke out of it in front of people. And that's your root, folks. That's how it works. That's subconscious 101. And then for the rest of your life, you think you have ugly, fat, manly legs because when you were 10 years old, your dad told you that and you just carried it. You never let it go. And some guy can go, oh, I like women with legs like Braveheart, because some guys do, right? And they could work out for you when you play sports or something. I don't know. Or someone else can go, they're not that big, actually, right? Or you could just go, I got to accept the fact that I got bigger calves, but there's some men out there that like that. So over complimenting is a bit uncomfortable. It's overkill. I agree. I don't feed that ego. I just say you're cool. And when they say cool and what, I'm like, cool as in was nice knowing you. Bye. Spock ears. Yeah. Yeah. Only beta males over compliment. I agree. People who fish for compliments like the base their entire being on it, like they live for validation and they find that's where their self-worth lies, which is sad, honestly. There's a lot of people that do. Legend of Zelda. Yeah, the funny thing is Mike's got a good sense of humor about that. What I'm saying is, have you guys ever seen the movie Boomerang? I don't know how old everyone is here. Remember the movie Boomerang? Eddie Murphy, before he made like Nutty Professor and kids movies, he was a fucking badass. Do you guys remember the movie Boomerang with Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy? Please let me know if you have. But he sleeps with this beautiful woman, and he wakes up in the morning, and Eddie Murphy's playing the act of a player, a pickup artist, whatever you want to call him, a pua. And he wakes up in the morning and the woman has like hammer toe all over her feet. Her feet are just horribly hideous. It's like one of those things. Every really good looking woman or even good looking man, they have something in their appearance that's not glowing. And so, no one's bulletproof. And sometimes I think women have the ability to hide that more than men. But the thing that was funny is I would tease her about it, and it offset the fact of her cockiness. Right. I love when a man compliments on my perfume. Okay, there's a good one for people then. It's the accent. An accent is a killer. A good way people like exotic foreign because it's different. Oh man, I thought he really thinks I smell good. Hope everyone is safe from Dorian. I'm stealing your phone quote and posting it. What was the phone quote? Your cool comment. I think it's in the SIP. Okay, we're talking about this. Dorian is coming my way. They'll probably get pegged. Mary, be safe out there. Oh, everyone, they be getting divorced. I'm in mid-Piedmont, North Carolina, so it shouldn't be too bad. Look at all these people from the Carolinas. How random is this, folks? There's like 7 or 6 people from Carolina. You guys are all East Coast and the South, but when I started my channel, I had a lot of people from California. It's interesting. Okay. Eddie has a new movie coming out. Can't wait. Do you guys remember that movie Boomerang, though? Stream needs G money. Need that kind of humor on my team. I love a chick with nice calves, but if you got cankles or some shit, oh hell no. That's I love a chick with nice calves, but if you got cankles or some shit, oh hell to no. That's some Popeye shit. I need that kind of humor on my team. The stream needs G money. I'm gonna clown 24/7. I would never have plastic surgery. I have a superstition about unnecessary surgeries and risks. A cool thing is a facial tone or small electric impulses that stimulate the muscles in your face. That's an alternative. Or should I say, when you respect each other's differences, if you over criticize each other to hell, then yeah, not so good. Yeah, that's true. People get to a point where they start to over criticize. That's for damn sure. Boomerang. It's a classic, right? That because you're the same age, Black Widow. So you probably know that movie. I mean, I watched that movie when I was a teenager, actually. I think that was the old school Martin Lawrence. That was a good movie. Robin Givens, right? Whatever happened to her? Wow. Definitely. Addison Johnson. I don't think I've seen you on here before. Hi, I'm new here and stumbled upon your page. Searching for relationship advice. My boyfriend is having trouble trusting me while I'm at college. I want to have fun, but I feel like he's limiting me. Advice? Well, if you feel like he's limiting you, then you need to speak up. And if it gets to a point where it's overbearing, then you need to make a decision on what you're going to accept and what you're not going to accept. Because if you're in college, you do need to enjoy that time. College is not just a place just to learn. It's a place to have fun, find yourself, find your interests, and have a good fucking time. Because when you start working and get out in that real world, maybe you have a part-time job now and stuff, it gets real quick. And so you being limited, in your words, in your early 20s while you're in college, regardless if you have a boyfriend to answer to because of his insecurities, then I would recommend that you be true to yourself and you seriously think about what you want and not necessarily pleasing his insecurities. Oh shit, the chick Grace Jones, she was funny too. I don't know who was Grace Jones in Boomerang. We're all over the place today. This is fun. We got a nice little crew up here, guys. Mike's always got these. Get your ball sack back. You guys like that one, huh? Friction. I don't know. There's a lot of passion and contentious relationship, but it's exhausting. Yeah, I had a client one time. He was in Austria, and he was telling me he had a relationship with a stripper that was a drug addict. And this guy, I believe he was a massage therapist. Actually, he lived in Austria. He was Australian. He was a really interesting dude. He was cool. He was a cool dude. And I'm like, what happened with this? It was a prior relationship. And I go, how are you with this stripper that was a drug addict? He goes, the sexual tension was insane. He was like the best he's ever been in. But he goes, she was a nutcase. But you're right. Contentious relationships sometimes work out that way. Friction is good to a certain degree. It's lovable too. Different strokes for different folks. Everyone's different on that. Some people don't like it, but it definitely makeup to breakup or makeup to makeup. I'll let you have this one. I won't argue with you this time. Thanks, Daniel. You too. Thanks for your insight, Coach. I appreciate it. Been loving your videos. Well, I appreciate it, Daycon. And I think being honest about your differences builds trust. Yeah, it might be friction at times, but it also reinforces it's okay to be in your relationship and still be loved. It's healthy. People are attracted to honesty, and people like when people have some things that aren't perfect about them. It's relatable. It's fucking human. And you know this, man. Chris Tucker is whatever happened to Chris Tucker, right? Friday was great, but you know what was actually good was that Charlie Sheen movie when he went and was Vic Damone. That's my dog. Speak to me if you got anything to say, because that's my dog. Chris Tucker's outstanding. I thought he was going to be all over the place, man. And you know this, man. Yeah, Chris Tucker was cool. Speak to me. Yeah, we definitely got to link up. Yeah, I love a chick with nice cat. Okay, you already had this one. I'm sorry. I would never have plastic surgery. I'm way behind. Respect each other's differences. All right. Been watching your vids for a couple hours. I find them really interesting and helpful, full of lots of advice. Well, thanks, Addison Johnson. If you want to send your story into writemac.com and have me give my take in a YouTube video, feel free to do so. Just sent that down. What was the phone quote? Oh, so you're paying attention. Okay, 20 points. If she got messed up feet, I'm peeling. If she's got messed up feet, I'm peeling tires. Yep. Everyone has their own turnoffs. Everyone has their own turnoffs. That's for sure. How old is he? Yeah. What are y'all doing up this late? I'm in DC. You're in DC? Well, for me, it's 11:43 a.m. where I'm at, so it's still morning time. Addison, you got to email him and put it in full detail. Thanks, Mike. Mike knows. It's true, right? Anyone, I don't know if all of you have sent me your story in, because not all of you have, but that's the best way to do it, Addison. And then I'll give you a tailored response about exactly what I think is going on. My cousin's name's Dorian. I don't know. I think you should still make your partner feel sexy, both men and women. A little validation is okay, especially if they're not particularly self-absorbed. Oh, yeah, definitely, LF. You got it right. You got it right. A lot of women think that, oh, I got to be the one always getting compliments and stuff. Guys like a pat on the back from time to time. There's so many guys. I've even fell in relationships where I'm like, fuck, dude, it would be nice to get a fucking compliment once in a while, right? I haven't had it many times, but you've been around other relationships, but it gets to a point where like a guy wants to know, women sometimes are always, not all, but they get into a point of, how much was that? Where did you go yesterday? It just becomes this question after question, and you didn't do this or you didn't do that. I mean, I see this in a lot of long-term couples and stuff. And when it gets to that point, it's hard to turn back for some guys. Got to represent the coach, which is why I'm awake. Thanks, Mr. Slammy. I appreciate it. You're good people. I'm originally from California, SoCal, born and raised. I like SoCal. I would love to move back to San Diego at some point. She got old, coach. Oh, coach, I thought you really meant coast. Dude, that's the best advice you can get. Well, thanks, you love Mex. Chestnut, you've been off deck for a little while. Hope you're all right, buddy. Oh, wow. Sabina jumped in. Wow. Wow. Chris Tucker got on religion. He went like Mace. The rapper Mace did the same thing, the height of his career. I'll tell you what, in this day and age, I wouldn't want to be super, super famous, have no life. Money talks. Skinner's on deck with that. Vic Damone. Remember when he was Vic Damone? Yeah, I'm Vic Damone. And he was like, he went up to some girl and he's like, you're fat. PHAT, pretty hot and tempting. Yeah, Rob, yeah, most strippers have issues. Where did I get lost? Yeah, that's very true. I'm going to med school after I graduate, but he's told me that he wouldn't move to my college town. Well, that's a deal killer. Put med school first, Addison. I can give you that advice real quick. Being a doctor is prestigious. It's admirable. It's noble. Put that on deck before this relationship. And I know it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel good. But you being a doctor in 8 or 9 years, I think everyone will agree on this forum right now. Go with that, because that relationship isn't guaranteed. I'm not saying this guy's a bad guy, but timing and circumstances, I would, if you guys stay together and you go to med school and you don't live in the same city or town, you're going to have to put in a lot of work in med school, right? You're going to be very consumed by your work and stuff. You're probably better off being single, because eventually the breakup's going to happen if you're going to be long distance like that. I once had a patient that had a tummy tuck. She developed hypertension, had an allergic reaction to the BP. She lived, but it all started with the elective tummy. I appreciate the advice. College is the beginning of your quest. Truly define who you'll be in this lifetime. It should be a good time. Oh my God, I love Grace Jones. I did a painting inspired by her. I don't know who Grace Jones is. Is that an actress? Never been, but I know. Certainly is an indicator, or the guy he is mostly beta behavior, but I suspect he's just experienced enough yet. If you guys have a long distance relationships in university situations have an expiration date, and it's going to end at some point. Just think of this when you're in college, all right? And I'm not this might be harsh, but you usually don't end up with the first person that's your serious love. Your first love of your life in the 21st century, we're not like our grandparents anymore. You're usually going to get curious. You're usually going to think, is this the first and only one? And by your mid to late 20s, you're going to stray anyways, or he is. It's just how it is. Money talks, good knowledge. Eric G's in the house. BlackWidows. Chestnut, you doing better? Hello, guys. Offer still hands to get LA is October. My man EG. In the coach, in the past, when someone rejected you when you first start a conversation, what do you say to make the situation not awkward? I know you say okay. Anything else? If it's a flat rejection, I just ignore the individual. It's not like I put my head down or something. I wouldn't continue on if I got flatly rejected. I don't even know if I'd say okay. I don't know in regards. I'm just going to give you an example. I've talked about this before. I was in a bar and restaurant before, and I went up to the bar. I was with a buddy, and there was a girl sitting down there. I just put my hand on the seat, and I started talking to her and stuff like that. And she's like, "Get your hand off my seat." I said, "No problem," and continued to talk to other people and ignored her the rest of the time. Was I an asshole? No, I just got the message. That to me, and the way she said it to me, was enough for me to go, no. Now, I came back to that particular place off and on for different weekends and different things, and eventually she came up to me, was like, "Why are you ignoring me?" Much better. I wouldn't sit there and try to let me figure out this maze. Let me see how I can be cute or something like that. But I would definitely wouldn't retreat. So I'd either say okay, or I would just pivot and shift my attention in a different direction. Much better. Thanks for asking. I'm on EST too. Judy Jackson, SoCal. Might have to do that. Addison, I would recommend it, because if this is really bothering you, you might even want to do a live coaching session, or send in the story and get a private response if you're worried about it being public, because you'll get some clarity. Ask the other people that are on the live stream. This isn't a bullshit live stream either. These are all people mostly that I've done live coaching with, or I've read their story. A lot of regulars here. So thanks. You love Max. He's nice. Is now Chestnut 92. Everyone should send in a story to coach. Give him some good material. It's one of those things. It's not like I need it, or I'm like, please, but for your benefit. But I appreciate that. He's not in this continent if it's 9:45 a.m. It's 11:51 a.m. where I'm at. Recently spending time with the fam. What really helped a lot. Good. God, I got lost again, guys. Oh, you guys went into the gossip stuff. Okay. I love hearing the men's point of view. Good. I'm glad. Good to hear you're doing better. DMX went crazy too. That's a good one. Mace was cool. Mace, that was when I was in high school. Shine Poe. I like Shine Poe. He got, well, if the gossip's correct, Puffy kind of did him in. Have I missed anything fun? I thought Shine, I don't think he did. I don't know. I don't follow that stuff. I think he's in jail. Yes, med school. Just came from the pool. I'll have to check. I'm pretty sure he did. Okay, how do we get this? Is when we get to an hour and a half, this gets all over the place. Grace Jones, the movie Boomerang, over complaining. You can catch me in the cherry red. Hell yeah, I appreciate the advice. All about the timing. I think we both realize it might not be right timing. Well, don't wait for him to realize. You're at an important time in your life, and if you're going to be a doctor, you're going to be an important part of society. So put that first, please. Especially if you're going for med, you're going to need all the focus you can get. This seems like stress might throw you off. Studying for the MCAT is stressful. I got another client that good people. He's trying to be an osteotherapist. Really smart guy. He's actually a high functioning, is he autistic? High functioning autistic? The guy's brilliant. School's easy for him. And he said it's difficult for him, med school. So, but I have a lot of respect for nurses, doctors, teachers, because you're doing good work. You're helping people out. You're a part of society. It's larger than just any relationship you have. And people that do that kind of work, you got a lot of admiration for myself. We always have fun, but yeah, there's a few other things I didn't mention. Addison, I studied for the last ISET. Hear you, girl. Stay focused. Well, thank you for the support. Have someone been to the movies lately? No. Thank you. You in med school. Black Widow. Oh, yeah, for a reason. Okay. People are attracted to some real imperfections mixed in. Makes them real, but mostly makes us think they will be more accepting of our own perfections. Yes. Just misread your thing. Johnson, I wouldn't have been graduating as a data scientist working with programming and solving real world problems if it weren't for my breakup. Well, that sounds like that fucking served you. I'm 21 and my breakup woke me up to focus on me. Well, good. I hope my channel helped too, Daniel Montero. Thanks, coach. I just need to go out there and start talking again. It's been 2 months now. I think it's time to enjoy life again. Fuck rejection. Absolutely. The thing is, it's just when you get rejected, it's just clarity, dude. That's all it is. It's the Big Pun song, Data Scientist Big Pun. I don't know if you ever read about his story. That's interesting. Data Scientist sounds fancy. Rest in peace, Big Pun. Yeah. He likes to crush a lot. I remember that song. Someone going into medicine is going to be so freaking busy during medical school and especially residency. Relationships won't be number one, but they will socialize, party with others doing the same thing. Yeah, I was going to say you'll probably meet another doctor that lines up with your morals and values better. And that would be really cool for you probably. High five up top. I got to go. I'm out, you guys. Great night and morning. Have a good one, LF. Data science, a lot of machine learning, statistics, Python being able to deep learning. Well, you're capable, Daniel. You know that. Are you doing another live stream later, Mac? I'd like to catch another one. Possibly. Mac, you really helped me out so much through your channel. I don't want my ex back at that point. I'm here to support your channel. I appreciate it, Daniel. I remember you, bud. Bay Area or Austin, Texas or San Diego. That's where you're headed, right? That's where you're headed. I'd go with Diego, Daniel. Sounds pretty cool. Oh, Python, I know. Where you at, Addison, if I may ask, or if you don't want to mention it, it's fine. It's your prerogative. But we got a lot of people. San Diego, go for it, Daniel. Go for it. Kentucky, oh, cool. You're close to a lot of these people. There's 4 or 5 people on here from the Carolinas. Maybe that's ignorant to say that's close. I might be traveling to Oakland for work. Oaktown. Oakland's actually really nice. They have a really cool bowling alley over there. That might sound random. Kentucky in the house. Kentucky Wildcats. Great college basketball. But I'm assuming you probably have to go somewhere different for med school, right? So awesome. Then I'll be the first on deck. I appreciate it, Dylan. All right, folks, an hour and a half. This has been really good today. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. This has been a spirited conversation. Addison, I encourage you, if you wish, to go to my website and send your story in. Maybe we'll help you out a little bit with your situation. I used to like Kentucky way back when they had Walter McCarthy and some of these other people. Duke. Good night, Mac. You on the next live. See ya. Thanks, Black Widow. You're appreciated, hun. Stay beautiful. I need to recheck, watch stream again, join late. Yeah, it was a good one today, I think. One person got upset because they said I was talking too much. Yeah, good night. Y'all. That's very Kentucky. I appreciate it. This was good today. And you love Mex, your story's coming soon. I have it scheduled in. It's actually already broke, but I'm trying to space out when stories are broke, so they're not just hitting someone's email 3 times in a row. What was the theme tonight? I've already forgotten. How to attract women out of a breakup. Be safe from Dorian. I'm nervous for this one. Well, you come to me for honesty, right? So I was honest. But if this continues to be a problem for you because you love Mex, I'm not going to get into this right now you got some trust issues. You probably want to do a live coaching session and really unpack it. Thanks, Rob. I always appreciate you, bud. You're good people. I like when you talk too much. It's a learning moment to me. Thanks, Mac. You want to hear something funny because I do talk a lot, not just on the live stream, but when I'm in conversation and I'll meet someone that talks a lot and I'm like, God, am I like that? Because I'll be like, excuse me, can I interject? Can I interject? I like when they come back to back, Mac, but I get why you do that way. I used to just load them in batches. I'd do 4 or 5, 6 or 7, and subscribers would actually quit because I think it's annoying. So I'm trying to space them out a little bit more. But send your stories in, guys. Some people think I don't do stories anymore. I absolutely do. Skinner, good knowledge on Money Talks. Good knowledge. It's one of those movies that's never talked about, but it was funny. Vic Damone. Yeah, this was a good one. I had something else I had to do today, and I'm like, you know what? I got to get my live stream in at the time that people generally are used to it coming on. So I've made as much a commitment as I can for you guys. All right, Rob, just for you. NBA question. I'll always give you one at the one. I think you can schedule them to upload. I am scheduling them to upload. The live streams, I like to do them live, and I don't have a schedule that's just around the live stream. So sometimes the times are different. They're spontaneous, but my effort is to make one a day. What do you want to ask, Rob? I'll give you my take on anything NBA. Right now, I'm actually reading the Larry Bird autobiography, Drive, which is pretty interesting, actually. It's very simple, just like Larry. Any question, Rob? You got it on NBA. This is closing. Other people aren't going to be as interested in this, but let me know what you want, Rob. I'll weigh in really quick. No, you don't have one? We got 12 likes then? Oh, no, the B-ball talk. LeBron winning another title in the next 3 years? Well, that's actually a good question. They certainly have a chance. I'm not a big Anthony Davis fan because he gets hurt all the time. And the times that the Warriors played him, I felt like Draymond Green beasted him a little bit. He doesn't seem to be a clutch player, but if he plays with LeBron James and the pieces they have a shot. I just have to see them in their first year to really give some kind of how are they going to vibe? I don't understand that coaching situation with the Lakers where they put Jason Kidd as the assistant. That's odd. There's going to be some fireworks there because Jason Kidd isn't going to like that. Well, Team USA isn't the best players in the world. They're kind of, the backups and different things. And there's a lot of young guys on that team that play hero ball. So that doesn't help. He might. I mean, everyone thinks the Clippers are going to take it. And the Clippers on paper, here's what people don't realize if you're a real NBA fan. You need the garbage time guys. You need the hustle guys. And the Clippers got JaMychal Green. They got Montrezl Harrell. These guys are nitty-gritty, hard-nosed players that play D, that rebound. And so I like that. But the elephant in the room for the Clippers is PG, Paul George, and Leonard. They both get hurt. So they're just an injury away. This is the thing about what's made the Warriors so special that just ate them up this year. The guys play every game. Draymond Green, Klay Thompson have played 80 games a year for 5 years, and they've played together a long time. That's the difference. You get guys that miss 15, 20, 25 games a year. I don't understand why people give these guys big contracts and they miss 25 games a year. Kevin Love. It just baffles me. The guy misses a whole year and they give him $100 million. JF colon. Carmelo should retire. Oh, Carmelo's I don't even want to get into that. It's pathetic. Do you think the Warriors will rely on Draymond as a scorer with Clay out? I'm going to tell you right now, I've done some research on it. I wasn't a big fan at first, but D-Lo is going to get busy. He's going to be good. What's up, Brian? I was wondering about you, bud. Did you get my email? Yes, okay. All-decade team. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard's out. He went to San Diego State, actually. Carmelo should retire. Absolutely. The Clips have a great team. They have a great team. Absolutely, on paper. It's just that, in my experience, being a huge NBA fan, you still need chemistry. And it's like last year, everyone had the Warriors winning it when they got Cousins. And I was like, this is going to be the year where they got some injuries. And I didn't like the Cousins pickup because he's not a good chemistry guy. Yeah, 3% Man is the Corey Wayne book. This season is going to be great. I think so many teams who can say, I agree. I love the NBA where it's headed. It's exciting. It's going to be exciting. We got a lot of good stars in the league and a lot of good teams. What's interesting is I wasn't a huge Kevin Durant fan, but I liked having him on my team. Okay. But it would have been really interesting with the Clippers and the Lakers and Houston getting better, which was ridiculous, that trade. Max contracts, only give them to players that have been healthy would be my answer to that. And they shouldn't be 5 years. They should be 2 or 3 years. But I don't mind if you get paid, but the guys that only play 40 or 50 games, come on. Like Chris Paul's a good player. I don't really like his style of play. I think he's a little bit dirty, but who the hell would give this guy? He plays half the season. See how you guys got me roped in for a little bit while longer? Okay. Stop trying to prove yourself to her. If you made changes, do them for yourself. As much as I think guys deserve them from their respective teams, I think they sometimes hinder teams' progress. Well, no, it's just getting to a point when you're giving people – I don't even mind if your production's high, okay, because the NBA is making a lot of money. But health and actually playing games, if you average 20 games that you miss a year and you're in your late 20s, like what made Kobe, Jordan, what made these guys so special? They played every game. They didn't miss a lot. Like Kobe had one season where he hurt himself. He wasn't kind of the same after that, but pretty much before then he was always playing. Jordan was the same way. He had one season he was injured. Is that luck? LeBron James, last year was the first time he's been injured in years. Was that luck? I think those guys condition themselves well, and they play hurt sometimes. Do people care if a team is winning, though? Case in point, Kawhi with the Raptors. If you're winning, then fine. Kobe is not talked about in the top 3 all the time. Well, he's pretty up there for me. I don't even like Kobe. I saw him in a recent interview, and I liked him a lot better. If the changes are real, they will notice in their own. I learned that firsthand. Also, the percentage of people spying on their ex's profile is extremely high. That's a good point. Well, folks, it's been a good one. I got a little bit of b-ball in there for you guys. Mac, very helpful. Thank you. Only one thing is WWE wasn't one-sided. Well, send me an email about your take, Brian. I would appreciate that because I took some time to do that. And I was sensitive to your feelings by not putting it public. So I was honest. I wasn't saying it wasn't one-sided, but I gave you my honest take on it. I gave you my honest take on it, Brian. And so take what you want from it, bud. But I meant it to be helpful. So, you know what I'm saying? Someone else out there, because you sending in your story, that'd be like, oh, that's good content. And I'm like, well, I don't want to post this about, right? So I put you first on that one. And I do that with most people. I gotta put an age thing on this. This is, yeah. All right, folks. I'll talk to you guys later. It's curtains.